Good evening, everybody. Wow.
Hello.
Wow.
Long time no see.
There are 16 people in here, and honestly, that makes me feel happy because we were looking at it today, and it has been over 2 years. Mic check, 1 2 1 2. Is this thing on? Let me know in the chat if you can hear me, because I'll tell you what, it's been over 2 years. December 21st, your birthday, 2022 was the last time we went live. But we want to go ahead and say thank you to Mike over at Lovey's Fat Life. We talked with him, and we brokered a deal. There's an NDA has been signed, so we can't disclose the details. But we will be going live once a month on a Thursday in this time slot for the remainder of this year. So we'll let you know when the next one's going to be a little later. But we want to say thank you to him, and he will be back next week. So yeah, make sure you tune into him. And we are this is an amazing time slot for us because we are leading in to our good friends Mike and Betsy, the Beaches. So make sure you stick around and watch them afterwards. But what are we going to be doing today, Steph?
We are going to be talking about our epic Australian vacation that we just had.
Yeah, it was long, it was fun, it was unforgettable, amazing places, amazing friends, and the funny thing is some people may not know the inspiration for that cruise. Mike and Betsy called us one day, right? Where were they?
They were at Outback Steakhouse.
Outback Steakhouse, so Australian, right? And they mentioned, hey, wouldn't it be cool to go to Australia? I think it took you 2 days to get an itinerary down with 3 separate cruises over a month span that included 23 cruise days. And 2 days later, we had all booked.
Mm-hmm.
Our good friend Mary Ellen Dillon signed on as well for the whole thing. And we had some other friends join us for certain legs. We'll talk more about that later. Real quick, though, before we get started on what happened, let's say hello to the chat.
Let's do it.
All right, we'll scroll back up here to the top. And we've got the first one in the chat today was our friend, the Modigator, Anthony Simone. I haven't talked to Anthony in a really long time.
Hi, Anthony.
We are here in Florida now. Man, last time we were live, we lived in Michigan.
Yeah.
Very cold there right now, so it's nice. We're actually here in our garage studio. So it's nice that we wouldn't be doing this in Michigan if we were in the garage. So
now, unless we're bundled up, had a heater going.
Yeah.
And...
So welcome in, Anthony. Thanks for showing up. And then, hey, our good friend Betsy. Hello. Betsy. I love that you were live. We love so too. It's a great way to build community, and that's been lacking for us over the last couple of years. So we wanted to dip our toes back into the water, so to speak, and we've done that here once a month for this year. So maybe we'll have some pop-ups at certain times, but definitely the once a month. Holly Ayers, she knows all about the Michigan weather, so I hope you're staying warm tonight, Holly. Welcome in. Destination Fun is in here. Welcome in, guys. Let's see who else. We got our friend Ken Pasco,
Hi, Ken.
another Florida resident in the house. Sticking with the Florida theme, we got Captain Billy J. Ahoy there, everybody. Ahoy, Mark and Steph. The real captain is here. Yes, he is in the house.
I don't know. We've got our captain's hats inside.
We did get some captain hats on a cruise recently, so that was fun. We should have worn them. Maybe next time. Michelle B is in the house. Is that Michelle Bowen?
Ship Wanderer?
Ship Wanderer. I don't think it is. So Michelle B, welcome in. Drop us a line in the message. Let us know who you are and what you're about. But we are happy you are here. Let's keep scrolling down. J&T Adventures is in the house. Hello to you as well. Carol Bidwell, your aunt, she's watching. So don't say anything embarrassing for the family, okay?
Yeah, right.
No
guarantees.
Mr. Paul Vines, he's always hashtag Team Miss Stephanie.
Hello,
and
Paul.
yes, hello to me as well. Thanks. Thanks, Paul. Let's see who else we got. We got Bob Cahill, one of your old Cahills. Bob is
I miss you.
Yeah, he's a Royal Caribbean cruiser, Royal Loyal. So hopefully he doesn't have anything booked right now that you know of, does he?
No, he should.
You should give Stephanie a call. Christina V is in the house. Hello, Christina.
Hello.
And let's see, we've got.
Did you say hi to Beach, please?
Well, yes, that's Mike. I mean, I said hello to.
Leave out Mike.
I said hello to Betsy. I think that covered our bases there. Donna Salvian.
Hi, Donna.
Hi from Alberta. Ooh, you want to talk cold? I'm sure. I'm sure up there it's cold, no doubt about it. Our good friend Jay Bowen is in the house. How you doing, Jay? We've got to get together with you guys because I know you've got a popcorn bucket for us. We got a couple popcorn buckets for you. So we need to make that switch. And now that I think about it, I think I owe you guys some money. So don't hold that against me. We will get that to you ASAP. More adventures. My good friend Dave is in the house.
Dave.
How you doing, Dave? Yep, there you go. What's up from cold Michigan? Absolutely.
Only what? April, I think you guys will be down. So
yeah,
we'll be here before you know.
Yeah, we're gonna catch up with you guys here very soon. But you guys are in Florida all the time, or in Hawaii, or on a cruise, or wherever. So I don't feel too bad. And then we got Michelle Bowen in the house. So Michelle, hello. She's saying her hellos to everybody. And our timing is probably off because we haven't done this in forever, and we've got a lot of stuff to go over about this epic adventure. But we will be having trivia later on because we're nerds and we can't have a live without trivia. So we will be doing that, and it will be Aussie and Kiwi trivia, all about Australia and New Zealand. If you pay attention to the show, you're going to know a lot of the answers. That's all I can say. I've already dropped a couple of hints, so there'll be more coming. So you might think this trivia is a little hard, and some of them may be, but we'll be dropping hints along the way. So make sure you tune into that. So let's see. Michelle B says, I'm new here, just a cruise addict from North Carolina, headed back home to Florida for my next cruise. Hey, we've
come to the right place.
Yeah, we've got a lot of friends in North Carolina as well. We actually did a dolphin dip on New Year's Day at my aunt has a beach house in Surf City. So we were there. We got a lot of family in North Carolina. So it's great to have you in. And one last one, your mom.
Oh, thanks, Mom.
She's watching from the room back there. So, all right. So let's get started. Our epic adventure, how did it start?
So to get to Sydney, we had to fly first to LAX, which is about, 5.5 hour flight?
Yep.
Then we had an 11-hour layover in LAX. That was interesting. Got a lot of work done.
Yeah. So now I've flown quite a bit in my previous job, so I've had a lot of long haul flights. But 15 hours, that was the longest flight you've ever done. How did you handle it?
It was okay, except for when it came time to eat, because I was in the middle seat. So I had to T-Rex it. So it's like, oh, hey, guess, you can't. Yeah, he's taking up. Let me tell you, flying on the international flight, I feel like they made the plane smaller to get more seats on it.
Yeah.
Because that middle seat, there was like barely any room. The lady next to me, she wasn't a very big lady, but still, just being in that middle seat, it was just like,
yeah.
But it was okay.
I slept about 13 out of the 15 hours, and we arrived in Sydney, and we hit the ground running, didn't we?
We did. We went to our hotel. Mike and Betsy had arrived the day before. Mary Ellen had just arrived that day. We all went down to Sydney to explore, and of course, it was a holiday.
Australia Day.
Day.
Yep.
So everything was was kind of closed that day.
Yeah. Well, we went down. There was a lot of
closed,
stuff going on, but some down in the Circular Quay, which is where the Sydney Opera House is. Everything was open down there. That's where all of the events were taking place. There were some cool plane flyovers, just a lot of events. And then we went and had a great lunch. 2025 mark. I'm adventurous. I ate a kangaroo burger. Nobody else ate a kangaroo burger, but I did.
No.
And
Mike is regretting that because he never got any kangaroo.
Yeah, very first place we went on the menu, got it, and I never saw it again.
No.
Yeah, so that was good. We had a great day then. I think we went home, we slept. They had fireworks that night, and then the next day we went on a little harbor cruise.
Yes. Just a friendly reminder, if you're going on a harbor cruise in Sydney, wear sunscreen.
Yeah, the sun.
Wear sunscreen.
The sun's definitely hotter down there, and both Betsy and myself paid the price. And I think it was a good 10 days probably before we were good. But we had a good time out that day. It was a little windy, as you can see here. But we saw some cool sights. We went to Manly Beach. What was the other beach we went to?
We went to Shark Island.
Shark Island.
I can't remember the name of the other.
There was another beach where they did the very first surfing competition. Yeah, and then just lots of good pictures. This was the view from our hotel room. The hotel was actually called View Sydney, which is nice. So this was actually taken the morning of our cruise. That is the Carnival Splendor right there. And the next morning we woke up and we took the train over. Yeah, we took the train, right? Yeah, the train system, very, very cool in Sydney and Brisbane.
Yeah, shout out to Mike for figuring out that whole train system for us.
Yeah.
Got us around.
Yep, and we went down to Circular Quay, right back in the same spot where it had been very crowded before, and easy access onto the ship. It's just beautiful with the harbor bridge there, the opera house right in the background, and just zoomed right on boarding, except for my plug that they took because that was an issue, but we won't go too far into that. So we got on the Splendor. What did you think about the Splendor?
That ship holds good memories for me because the first time we were on that ship, we got engaged back in 2011.
I popped the question on the Splendor, and it's a nice ship. It's older. It's got a lot. They call it the pink donut ship, right? It's very weirdly decorated.
It's like the Simpsons threw up in there.
But it's a nice ship for 4, 5, maybe 7 days, but
not enough variety.
We did back-to-backs on that, a 5-day and an 11-day. And yeah, just, we've gotten so used to, the XL class ships or even the Vista class ships, all of these different food options that they have during the day. And this just didn't have it. Of course, they had Guy's Burgers, but they didn't have a blue iguana. Mm-hmm. So I couldn't get my burritos or tacos. So that was kind of a bummer. But other than that, it was good. Anything else you want to say about the Splendor?
We enjoyed seeing Simon London again. We sailed with him on the Magic back in 2019. Okay. We sailed with him and got to know him a little bit. Got to talk with him more on this one, which was nice. And I actually did a little interview with him for his when they did their Conga for the Kids event. So I interviewed him. That'll be coming out in a vlog later. But it was cool. Yeah, he's a great guy. Does a lot of stuff. Runs marathons for St. Jude and the children and all this. So it's pretty cool. But and what about you? Wanted to talk about the ice cream though? Okay, let me tell you. Australia does their soft serve different. On the Splendor, all you could get was vanilla. Wasn't rotating flavors. But it tasted like birthday cake. It was the best ice cream ever. And they also had like chocolate syrup and strawberry syrup, so you could, decorate it. But it was amazing.
Mike says he thinks he saw himself in that pic doing a 10K. I think Mike did a 10K every day, and I think he. Oh, hey, hello to Renee. Renee's in the house.
Renee.
I'm sorry if we miss anybody else, but we're gonna try to make sure we get through all of this content today. We haven't even gotten to our first stop yet.
No.
The first one was a 5-day to Tasmania.
Yes.
And what was our first stop there?
Our first stop was in Hobart, and we went to the Bonarong Wildlife Sanctuary.
Yes. Tasmanian devils are real, my friends. This is a Tasmanian devil. Very, very calm there. She was cute. They're not real big, but they do have sharp teeth, and I wouldn't want to mess with them. Steph, you got to feed a kangaroo there, which was pretty cool. The first time you fed a kangaroo. And we also saw a lot of other animals, including this little neat one. And I can't remember what the name of this was.
That's an echidna.
Echidna. You see his little tongue there coming out. That thing was shooting out like wildfire back and forth, picking up ants or whatever it was eating. But that's an echidna. So we got to see a lot of cool wallabies,
and wombats.
Lots of cool things there at Lone Pine. Now,
nope.
Oh, not Bonnarong. We went to a lot of nature and animal parks during this time, and you're going to see that, which is cool because they've got a lot of animals, and especially all of the marsupials that they just don't have here. There's something cool. Was it the wombats you said about their pouch?
Yeah. So a wombat's pouch is actually upside down because they spend all their time digging. So if the pouch was facing another direction, the baby would get suffocated by all the dirt. Also, once wombats, when they're in captivity and they reach age 2, they start like becoming aggressive and attacking the handlers, and that's how they know that they are ready to go back out into the wild. Yeah. So this was a really cool experience for the money through the cruise line. Not sure that this one is really worth it, but you know, I had a good time, and you got to feed a kangaroo. We got to see that. We didn't see Tasmanian devils anywhere else. No,
we went places where they were, but it was very hot and they were hidden. So this was our chance, and we got to see them. In fact, I don't think some of our other friends on this cruise saw a Tasmanian devil. No. So it was pretty good. Hello to Billy Fearon in the house.
Beach Police said they missed the Tassie devil.
Yeah. So yeah, it's it was very hot when we were over there, and the animals, just like at a zoo, they take shelter if they're not there.
So just want to point out that they said miss the Tassie devil. Over in Australia, they add like a Y. They shorten everything. So, like Tasmania becomes Tassie. What was that guy's name? They called him Dazzy.
Like Barry is Bazzy, like anything like with an R. And your cousin, who we'll talk about a little later, his last name is Bidwell, and they call him Biddy. Yeah. They like to do the abbreviations. But what was our next stop in Tasmania? We just had 2 stops in Tasmania out of the 5-day cruise, and our second one was in
Port Arthur.
And what did we do in Port Arthur, Steph?
We did geological panoramas of the peninsula.
Yeah. So in Hobart, we saw the animals, and in Port Arthur, we saw the landscapes and the land. It was a prison area. Port Arthur was a prison area, and they actually had a small stretch that they protected with a bunch of dogs. I know you got a picture of that. I didn't come across that when I was preparing these, but we also saw the arch?
Yeah, the Tasman Arch.
So the Tasman Arch, and this was pretty cool. We actually got to walk out and across that. Thankfully, it didn't fall under the weight of our cruise food that we'd been eating. But very beautiful landscapes out there. This was another view we got. There was
that's the blowhole. You can't really tell.
You can't quite see it there what the blowhole is. But there was a blowhole, and these are what do you call these?
Tessellated pavement. This is all natural formations.
Yeah, and you can't, if you look closely in there, you'll see that it almost looks like bricks or pavers that were laid out into the water there, but that's all formed naturally. So that was really cool. We actually got to walk out on a little bit of that, but the tide was coming in a little high. So we couldn't go out very far as we might have wanted to there. And that was it for the Tasmania cruise. So we headed back to Sydney. Let's check back and just see. Looks like everybody's chatting with each other. I appreciate that. Let's see. Yeah, Betsy and Mike. They love wine. And this was a great place for them. So I look forward to hearing a little bit more about their winery visits a little later tonight on their show. But let's move on. We got back into Sydney. It was a back-to-back. So we actually we went with Mike and Betsy. We went around Circular Quay, and we got up close and personal with the Sydney Opera House. Went in. They do tours through there. They do all kinds of events and shows. And and it's been around since the same year I was. It was finished the same year I was born. Yeah, 1973 is when the Sydney Opera House opened.
It was it's such an iconic site.
Yeah.
To be able to like see it, get up close with it, it was awesome.
Yeah, it's one of those like tick marks, right? When I think of Australia, and I think I think of a couple of things, right? I think of kangaroos, and I think of the Sydney Opera House, right? That's one of those identifying features where if you see that, you know where you are. So it was really cool to get there, and we had some new friends join us on this cruise as well.
We did. We had Chris and Wendy from Sea
Wench. Yep, they joined us. They flew in and did the 11-day Journeys cruise with us
to New Zealand.
So that was fun. We had a great time hanging out with them. And I'll just go ahead and say this now. In addition to all of the sites, we had some great times playing some friendly games at night. Sometimes they might not have seemed so friendly, but we were still all friends at the end of it.
Yes.
But so this 11 nights cruise was a Journeys cruise, and there were some special things for that. And I'm seeing right now that I forgot to load up the pictures for that. So that stinks. But go ahead and tell them some of the special things about the Journeys cruise.
So some of the things, they had lectures, which was kind of cool. We went and saw a lecture about the Great Barrier Reef.
Yep.
Everything will kill you, but they're cute. That's what the woman told us. Let's see. They had an artist on there who was teaching you how to draw comics, but he also was drawing characters for you. So Mark and I had one done.
Yep, I prepared it for the show tonight and forgot to upload it. So
they also were doing a lot of dance classes, like ballroom dance classes, 50s style dance classes, and they had a glee club, which Mark and Wendy took part in.
Yeah, I've got a picture of that too, but it's not here.
So basically on the second to last day, Mark and Wendy got to go up on stage with the performers, and it was like cast and guests, and they just did some 50s, sang some songs, did some dancing.
It was a good time. We got to hang out. Hey, Will G, welcome in.
Hi, Will.
And it was just it was a good time. It's something that I did that years ago. They had when they used to have the Legends show. I was able to get up on stage for that. So it was cool to get back to that. And the Journeys cruise, throwing those extra things in. I mean, obviously they're longer cruises, so they're just adding special events, and it was fun and informational, and we had a good time.
Mm-hmm.
And after a few sea days, we arrived at our first port in New Zealand, and that was Wellington, right?
Yes.
What we do in Wellington?
We didn't have anything booked, but we had done some research, and we saw that the Wellington cable car was one of the most popular things to do in Wellington. So we took that up to its ending, the observation point.
Had some nice views from up there.
Yeah, it was great. You could see the bay and the city.
And then you had the beautiful idea to walk all the way back down to the city, which was down. I mean, you think downhill, right? And you think that's going to be easy, but there were times when it was pretty steep, and I've got a bad ankle,
walking
and
like that.
And it was I was fine that day, but later on, man, I was toast. But it was through botanical gardens, and it was beautiful.
Amazing. That was one thing that struck me about this trip, was how many flowers there were, just the beautiful nature that we saw. Bees.
Lots of bees too.
On our walk down, we also went through a cemetery, and having these tombstones from the early 1800s, and then right behind that you see this towering skyscraper.
Yeah,
it was so cool to see the dynamic of those two.
Yeah, and once we got back down into Wellington, which is the capital city of New Zealand, Auckland's the biggest city, Wellington is the capital. We were hungry. We didn't want to get back on the ship just yet, and I had been, we were looking for some great New Zealand fare, right? But my eyes were caught at what was it, Rosie's Red Hot Cantina. We hadn't had our burrito and taco fix on Splendor, so we ordered some nachos at Rosie's, and let me tell you, this picture does not quite do the size of this thing any justice. Because I want to say that was about that big, right?
That was like if you get a taco salad, like an old school taco salad where it's got that nice deep fried shell, you had that. And then the tortilla chips are all piled inside of this. And then you've got all your toppings on it. Yeah. We did a pretty good job of
I didn't put the after photo in there, but there wasn't much to see anyway. We handled it pretty good. So that was Wellington. It was fun. Our next stop was a little town called Napier, and we didn't schedule anything for there either. We just decided to get off and explore. And I think you were really pleasantly surprised with Napier.
Absolutely. So Napier is the Art Deco capital of the world, and there's a free shuttle that takes you down to the town. And right there were a lot of beaches.
Yeah, the sunken gardens were right there.
Sunken gardens.
And then we went out to the beach, which was kind of unique.
Yeah, it was crazy. So as you were up near the street, it had rocks that were pretty large. And as you got progressively closer to the water, the rocks became smaller. And there was no sand until you were just like 2 feet out. It was just all rocks. I've never seen any beach like that before.
I didn't actually go all the way down because it was, shaky ground. And as I mentioned before, my ankle was a little jacked up from the day before. But Ronnie Stokes is in the house. Woo! Welcome in, Ronnie.
Hey, Ronnie.
Say hello to Alma for us as well. Mike says he would destroy those nachos. Yeah, we pretty much did destroy those nachos. So it was a good time. And there in Napier, they have this this waterfall. It's actually it's a beautiful waterfall. It's in another little garden area. And it's actually a man-made waterfall, but I'll tell you what, it looked pretty beautiful to me. So we walked over there.
The other view of this, if you were to turn around, it's just more flowers. Yeah. We were standing on a bridge and nice. Like if I lived there, I would probably go walking there a lot.
Yeah, it is very beautiful. I don't have any pictures to show right now because I was mainly taking video there down in Napier, but very cool little town, lots of shops, lots of barber shops.
Yes.
But lots of good food, clothing.
Speaking of food, guess where we ended up, folks? At McDonald's.
Yeah, Macca's. We went to Macca's and what we had breakfast there, right?
We did.
I was looking for a Pepsi Zero or just some sort of soda because I really cut back on my sodas this time, and I've been drinking much more water because the doctor says I need to. But I was jonesing for one, and we saw the arches, so we headed for them.
Yes. Speaking of Pepsi Zero.
Oh, yes.
Oh, my little Coca-Cola heart was so happy when we got on board the ship and they were serving Coke Zero.
Yeah.
No Pepsi.
Carnival Australia still has the Coke. They haven't gone over to the Pepsi, so Steph was very, very happy about that.
Yes. All right, sorry.
No, that's good. So that was Napier. Next stop was Tauranga, and though it might not have been my favorite overall port, I can't argue that this is where we had the most fun. At least for me, right? I think Wendy put it best when she said we felt like kids again. So we took this roughly 45-minute drive out to Tauranga, out to Rotorua. From the Tauranga port, and we took one of these.
Oh, poor Betsy!
All the way up to the top of basically this mountain, and once we were up there, we got to ride on these luges, right? And that's a little dark, but this is just before I passed you, Steph. This is right before I blew by you.
Well, you would have probably ran me off the road if I didn't allow you to pass.
I may have. So after you get back down to there's a braking system on here, but it's all gravity and that takes you down. But man, we got going really fast. And once you get down to the bottom, you hop on a chairlift.
This chairlift was so cool.
And head back up.
When you get to the end of the track, you have to slide your luges onto this track, and then as the gondola comes by, it hooks it to the bottom and takes it back up to the top.
Yeah. Betsy corrected me. That was an hour and 15-minute ride. It went by pretty quick to me. But Billy asked if that was black sand. So no, in Napier, it was more like pebbles.
But they were black.
Oh, was it when you get down there? And there was some more black sand that I'll show you, and we'll talk about from another spot a little later. Billy says Coke products are cheaper internationally compared to Pepsi, which might be why they still serve Coke products.
However, we did purchase Pepsi in the stores locally because that's what was cheaper. It was about $10 cheaper.
Yeah. For
Maybe
a 10
they just
pack,
were trying to get rid of it because nobody likes it except for this guy.
So Betsy says you absolutely would have ran her over. Remember that little old lady you smashed? No, I didn't. I don't remember anything because
there's going to be video evidence.
It all happened behind me.
Yeah.
All right. So then once it was all said and done, we got 3 runs down the hill on the luges, and actually the guys, we all won one. I won the first one. Mike won the second one. I'm sorry to say this, Chris. Mike would have won the last one, but he took a wrong turn, and I was thinking, man, I'm going to win this one too, and I don't know what Chris did. He summoned the momentum. You'll see the videos if you haven't seen. I did a short on it already. He's like Fred Flintstone and pushing me back. I don't know if he had his feet out the sides or what, but he beat me on that one. But I only had time for one picture, so I put this podium one up where I was the victor. Mm-hmm. But we had a great time, and all 3 of us guys won. So that was kind of cool, right?
Betsy and I were just hanging back, letting people pass us.
Yeah, that's
we were being safe.
That's what it was. We had helmets on. We were safe.
Yeah, but you could still tip. I think Mike almost tipped at one point.
Yeah. Well, he wasn't.
Probably caused some lady to tip over.
He wasn't slowing down going around the corners at all. So yes. I can understand why he might have. All right. So that was Rotorua out of the Tauranga port. And our next port was in Auckland. All right. What did we do in Auckland?
So we went to the Piha Bush and Beach Eco Tour.
Yeah. There's some totem poles outside of the Welcome Center. And I'm pretty sure that these guys were excited to see us because they were all stacked up there. And to me, they looked very excited. One
thing I just want to interject. So in Australia and New Zealand, they honor the natives. Yeah. Like when you board a plane, when you're on
any boat or ship,
they make sure to acknowledge, the Aboriginals who came before them. So I thought that was pretty cool. And that's what a lot of Piha Bush, the Welcome Center was.
Right by the Welcome Center, we entered this trail and we did a walk through the bush, and our guide was very knowledgeable, had a good time doing that. And then we went out to, do you know what the name of the beach area is we went to? It was out there. There was a thing out there called Lions Rock. You'll see that in a second. But Billy, here is the black sand, and it looks dark brown here to me. But our guide did a really cool thing where he took a magnet, okay, and he dipped it down into the sand, and then he pulled it up, and all of it was just covered with black sand that is magnetic. And that was, I've never seen anything like that. And it was really cool. And then we got some time to walk up to the beach, and it was very beautiful. I guess this looks like a lion when you're out from the water. I don't really see it here.
Yeah, it looks like a skull.
Yeah, I'm not really sure, but they call that Lion Rock. It was a very, very pretty area. We also got when we went back up to the road, they had a little stand, and it had we got chips, or what they call the combo.
It was like chips and cones or something.
We got a cone.
Oh,
we got chips and a tinny of tomato sauce. So ketchup,
not ketchup,
tomato sauce.
No,
that should have been in my trivia. It's not. You just remember that though. It was a whole tinny. And I'm glad that she didn't really use the tomato sauce, because I killed that tinny of tomato sauce.
Yes.
So. All right, moving along. We're already 34 minutes in, so we gotta run this along.
Let's go.
Next up was the Bay of Islands, and what did we do there?
We took a cruise. It was called the Hole in the Rock Cruise, and on our way out, we passed through. There's 144 islands.
Yeah, and
in this chain.
Obviously we didn't see all of them, but we did see a bunch. Mary Ellen Dillon went with us on this one. I think she needed a break from all the wine drinking with Mike and Betsy, so she went with us on that one. And we were excited because there's this hole in the rock.
Yes.
And
if the weather is right,
most of the time they said they drive the boat through it, and that is not a very big hole. And we were in a very big boat, and spoiler alert. We didn't get to go through it. It was a little too rocky. I get it. I'm not trying to get slammed up against the sides of the rock. There's a really cool lighthouse within sight of that too. That when we get the vlogs out, I've got some good video of that we'll share. So that was fun, and that was the Bay of Islands. I'm just going to check back in here. We got Deb Wright in the house. Hey, Deb, how's it going? Looking forward to cruising with you in a few months. Billy says, yeah, the magnetic sand, it's so cool. Mm-hmm. And there you go. All right, so they're just chatting back and forth, and we're gonna go back and move along. All right, things were going way too well there. I had to screw something. I had to screw something up. Yeah, I got a little click happy there. So.
Can you guys hear us?
Yeah, let us know. Let us know in the chat here if we're back. I'll hold on just a second to make sure we see that.
Such a noob.
Oh my gosh, it's like I haven't done this in a couple of years, right? I'm gonna go ahead and hope we're still on.
Can hear and see, just a little fuzzy.
All right, hopefully that will come back.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Billy says, click happy. Yeah.
So we had 2 sea days, and then we disembarked to fly up to Brisbane.
Yes.
So real quick, I just want to touch on, we flew Virgin Australia from Sydney to Brisbane. And
so it's a domestic flight.
Yeah, flying domestically, crazy. The only time we ever had to show our passport was when we were loading or checking our baggage.
Yeah.
Also, first time we've ever had to weigh our carry-on.
Yeah.
We were over. They only allow you
7 kilos.
7 kilos.
Yeah.
Which is like what? 15
I think it's 15 pounds. My empty suitcase was more than half of the allowable weight.
So we were on the struggle bus, like cramming as much stuff as we could into our backpack to get that underweight.
Yeah.
And then also, you can take like full bottles of water through security. You didn't have to take your shoes off. The guy laughed at us when we asked if we had to do that. And
we didn't show a ticket to get through security or anything. And basically anybody could, as long as they have a ticket, anybody could board the plane. I don't mean to rush you along, but we are 37 minutes in. What was our, so we're in Brisbane.
Yes. So we get to Brisbane.
Yep.
And my cousin, after he graduated high school, he moved to Australia to attend uni, as they call it. And he's been there ever since. Yeah. So what, 20? Like maybe 20 years now. Yeah. I don't know. He's been there for a while.
15, I think.
Yeah. So we had dinner with him. So that was nice. It was good to catch up. It'd been a while. Obviously, we don't get to see him a whole lot. And then the next day, we went to Lone Pine Koala Sanctuary.
This was a cool place.
It was. So Mark and I and Mary Ellen Dillon ended up taking a cruise that included Lone Pine. Mike and Betsy just did Lone Pine on its own. We all met up there. Got to see the koalas. Everywhere you looked, koalas. It was crazy. Like we were walking through the cafeteria area and I see tables and I look and I'm like, oh my goodness, there's koalas. So we actually sat and had lunch and looked at koalas the whole time. Yeah. Awesome place to feed the kangaroos. We got to like pet the kangaroos and just interact with them a lot more.
This was Betsy's friend here. This guy was just chilling. And I think Betsy remembers this guy.
Oh yeah.
He's it was a very cool place. It was
got to see a duck-billed platypus.
Yeah, duck-billed platypus.
Those things they amaze me.
There were birds, so it was a really cool place.
Dingoes.
Cheaper to go there and do that than it was to go to Bonnarong. And I think other than seeing getting to see the Tasmanian devil and the echidna, This was an overall better experience. And if you're in Brisbane, I would highly suggest going to see that. And then the next day we boarded the Luminosa.
Yes, we did.
So this was a new ship for us. And what did you think?
It's okay. It's not my favorite ship by any stretch of the imagination, but I was excited that it had a burrito place, not Blue Iguana. They don't have Blue Iguana or Guys. They have a burrito place,
tacos and burritos, and then they have the grill, which you can get burgers that are pretty much burgers and fries are pretty much like guys.
And
so,
chicken sandwiches.
Yeah.
And they also had a barbecue place.
Schnitzel sandwiches.
Oh yes, schnitzel at the deli.
Yeah, well, no, it was just a chicken burger.
Yes,
chicken burger, and they've got the chicken schnitzels, which are very popular there. Yes. They have those on the deli. So
ice cream, they incorporated chocolate this time, which Betsy said was pretty mild.
It was, yeah.
But ice cream was still fabulous.
Still your birthday cake
and
/
we also had new friends join us on this one, Mike and Mary, who are friends of the beaches. Who have now become our friends.
Yes, they have, and I prepared a picture of them too, and I screwed that one up. Hey, listen,
Fail.
2 years. I think we're doing pretty good.
So our first stop was at Airlie Beach.
Yes, Airlie Beach, and there was a really cool waterfall here. We got lucky because we visited in the rainy season, and just a week before we arrived here, the road was actually flooded. They'd had so much rain that the road was actually flooded to get over here, but we were able to get there, and the waterfall was doing amazingly. And in the dry season, that waterfall actually runs dry sometimes because there's barely any water there. And really quick funny story. As soon as we got on the bus, what did one of the tour guides say to us?
Okay, so she was a trainee, and she's like, "Hey, I think his name was Rob. He's not going to tell you this, but it's like bad snake season right now. So if you get bit by a snake, you may not realize it because they don't sink their fangs in. They just kind of scratch you. So what you need to do is stay calm, keep your heart rate, low, and let one of us know immediately so we can call emergency services."
Yeah. So then we're out by this waterfall, and what are you seeing all over the place?
Oh my God. So the tree limbs. I've never seen tree limbs that grow around in a tree branch like that. It was crazy. So everywhere I looked, I'm like, oh my God, is that a snake?
Yeah.
Oh, it was power of suggestion.
I was trying to balance on some rocks, trying to get a good picture of the waterfall. And she's like, "There's a snake up there." But it wasn't. They were just branches. But
it looked like.
But yeah, it was pretty crazy. They were cool branches. It was very cool. And then we got a proper lunch
at the Cape Gloucester Resort.
Cape Gloucester Resort, and then we went and were able to actually see some pretty cool rock formations down at I think this is Gloucester Beach, right?
Yes.
So that was cool. That was what we did there in Airlie Beach, and next was Cairns. It looks like Cairns, but it's Cairns is the way they pronounce it. And what we do in Cairns.
So we went to Hartley's. We did Hartley's Crocodile Adventure. It's
pretty cool.
another sanctuary. They have this lagoon. It's got 22 crocs in it, and they take you out on a pontoon type boat.
And they feed them.
They feed you, and you're like.
They don't feed us. They feed them.
Yeah, you're kind of caged in because apparently these crocs can get pretty aggressive.
Yeah.
And they are concerned they'll jump in the boat.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool.
The naturalist that did our lecture on the Splendor, she was going over all of these things, right, and saying, "Oh, this is so cool. It can kill you, but it's so cool. It's so cool." And then she talked about saltwater crocs, and she's like, "No, I'm staying away from them."
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So she was concerned about the saltwater crocs. Got to see another pretty cool thing, like a dinosaur bird
cassowary
that was there. These things are cool. It's kind of hard to see. That's like a hard piece on the top of their head. I mean, you look at these things, and it literally just kind of looks like a dinosaur.
My favorite thing ever, though. Do you have video of it? Photo?
What's that?
Petting the koala.
I don't know. Oh, yes. I guess I do have the picture there.
Goodness.
When you got to pet the koala.
So when we were at Lone Pine, back in 2024, they passed where you're not allowed to touch them. You're not allowed to hold them. So when they were like, okay, you can pet it, I was like, oh, because that was just awesome.
We also got to pet a baby saltwater croc.
Yes.
We saw some deadly snakes, and they did a crocodile presentation.
Yes.
As well. So this was another cool kind of like nature reserve where we got to see a lot of animals that call Australia and New Zealand home. So,
okay, this next port was probably definitely a bucket list for me. So we went to Port Douglas, where we got to go snorkeling in the Great Barrier Reef.
Okay, when we pulled up to this big pontoon, they have a lot of cool things to do there. They've got a semi-submersible that you see Betsy and me on here. But then we got to actually go down. We got our stinger suits on because it is jellyfish season in the Great Barrier Reef. And we saw some cool things. The water was really rocky.
Oh my goodness. It was the hardest snorkeling ever.
But was it your favorite? What did we see?
Oh, we saw this turtle. Now we saw one in our area, and then Mike and Betsy were quite a ways away, and they ended up seeing another one as well. And let me tell you, in addition to this sea turtle, the blue corals, like snorkeling in the Caribbean is cool, but the Great Barrier Reef was just like unbelievable. I can't wait to watch the video.
Hello to Danny and Tanya from Positive Vibes Adventures.
How we cruise.
How we cruise in the house. Brian and Julie. Yeah, Great Barrier Reef, definitely a bucket item list. Yeah, I know Mike actually did a lot of diving, a couple dives. He did one there, and he did one at some other port. So I can't wait to see his footage. But even just snorkeling was amazing. So that was Port Douglas, and we had one more kind of thing.
Yeah,
it was not called a sea day on the list. What was it called?
So it was called Cruise Willis Island.
We really didn't know what to expect.
So yeah, there was no lead up to it. Like 10 minutes prior, they're like, hey, go out to starboard side. We're going to be passing this island, whatever. So basically this place is a weather station, and you know, just cruising by it is considered an international port. So the cruise lines can have the shops open.
Yeah. So there was a cool reef around it. They released a weather balloon. They did a countdown.
It was a
tiny
balloon.
little blue balloon that they released against the blue sky. Yeah. That was very hard to see.
So 4 people live there, and there's like 16,000 birds.
Yeah, tons of birds. And we saw a lot of them flying around the ship. So then we got back to Brisbane. We flew up to Sydney, down to Sydney, where we were going to stay for one night But when we landed in Sydney, I opened the phone up, and what did it say?
It said, your flight has been canceled. So we were supposed to fly out. We had a hotel room for that night, and we were supposed to fly out the following day. And then, of course, they canceled that flight. They rebooked us for 2 days later. The only seats that were left were all middle seats at the back of the plane, which really just was not cool.
But we made the most of it, and we went and saw a show at the Sydney Opera House, a performance. So that was really cool. We made the most of it. We're going to talk
lunch at Wahlburgers too.
Yeah, we did have lunch at Wahlburgers. Donnie wasn't there, but Mark was. Yeah. We're going to play some trivia. I'm going to try to hook this up real quick. So get your cahoots ready, and we are going to try to get this going, and we're going to jam through this. Try to go fast enough that Billy J does not have time to Google the answers. Let's see here.
We don't want to run into the beach this time.
No, we do not. So I'm going to pull this up real quick. I'm going to see if I remember how to do this. Well, I got to share the other one. So that's what we got to do. We're going to
trivia.
No, we're not going to skip trivia. We're going to do this. I just have to.
It took me forever to get a ship on a stick. The Splendor was just giving out medallions. Luminosa was giving out ships on sticks. And let me tell you, people cheat at trivia.
Let's see. Bear with me, guys. Go ahead and chat with them their stuff, and I will.
I can't see the chat. So, anywho, is Australia on anyone's bucket list? Is that somewhere you'd like to go? And let me tell you, don't wait until it's too late, because the Caribbean, you can do that at any age. But places like Alaska, Australia, you want to be mobile. You want to be able to, to explore these things. You don't want to go when I'm not going to put an age out there because I don't want to offend anyone. But you don't want to wait until you're not able to do everything you want. So do it while you can.
I think I saw the Gilberts in here. Traveling Gilberts, hello.
Here today, where tomorrow. Hello. I'm excited to hear what you thought of Margaritaville. All right, let's see.
All right, I think
definitely on his bucket list.
All right, there we are. So there is the pin. We're only going to do it here for a couple of minutes, and then we're going to get started. Yeah, we got 10 minutes. So we are jamming through this, folks.
Hey, why don't, while people are logging in, why don't we talk about what's coming up in February?
Yes, so 380-8089 is the pin. I'm going to pop something else up on the board real quick here, and that is just the information on our group cruise. It is Valentine's Day, February 14th of 2026, visiting Nassau, Grand Turk, Amber Cove, Celebration Key. We are going to have a great time. We are going to do a lot of the same fun events that we did on our last group cruise, and it's going to be a great time. It's on the Mardi Gras, so it's a good itinerary, good ship.
Real Captain BJ.
Real Captain BJ.
My mother's inside cracking up at that.
Yeah, she probably is.
Anyhow.
All right, there we go. We're getting some more people in there. We can only give it one more minute.
That's Debbie. That's her new rapper name.
Yep, and 9.86 seconds is no doubt Mike, because he's referencing the time when I almost died. When I was underwater forever. 31 in the house. Hop in this cahoots real quick. I got to close it in about 30 seconds because unfortunately we are running a little long.
Where's the pin?
The pin is 380-809, Mike. 380-8089. It should be on the screen. If it's not, I am really doing something wrong. Beach Police says we can go 2 minutes late. That is very nice of them. But I am going to I'm going to count this down in 10. We got a great prize coming out tonight. I don't know what it is, but I'll find a great prize. And if you paid attention,
it's not our ship on a stick.
And if
we worked hard for that.
If you paid attention, you should do good on this trivia. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's start this. All right. This is our Aussie and Kiwi trivia. Here we go. First question. This popular item can be found on Carnival ships sailing from Australia. Is it meat pies, a spaghetti sandwich, chicken schnitzel, or sausage sizzle? And I just thought Betsy and Mike, this is a little unfair. They should definitely rock this trivia. If they don't have perfect scores, I'm going to be a little surprised. They should. Well, no, there might be a couple that they don't know. So 5 of you guessed meat pies, 2 guessed chicken schnitzel, which is the proper answer.
I know which 2 answered.
Chicken schnitties. They are amazing. Bets, Dubby, and Mike are in the lead. Look at that. They're the only 2 that got that right. Chicken schnitties. All right. A visit to this place inspired our adventure down under. If you were listening earlier, you would know. Is it the zoo? Is it a Men at Work concert, Outback Steakhouse, or Epcot? A visit to this place inspired our epic adventure down under. This one's this is kind of silly. Yeah. What's that? I took that photo. I didn't take that photo.
You took it off the internet.
All right. So 5 of you knew that it was Outback Steakhouse. We got 1 for the zoo and 1 at a Men at Work concert. I wish I went to a Men at Work concert, but I sadly have not. Bets W and 9.86 seconds remain in the lead, but we got some other people on the board and the real Captain Google BJ. Next question, 3 of 20. What nickname do they have for McDonald's in Australia and New Zealand? Is it Macca's? Is it Mickey D's? Is it Arches or McDizzles? What is the nickname that they have for McDonald's down under? What are you laughing at? McDizzles. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and so we got 5 seconds left. That is actually what like the younger generation calls McDonald's.
Seriously?
Is McDizzles. Yeah. Somebody said Mickey D's, but it is Macca's. They've got all these Macca meals there. I didn't really know what was going on for a while until I realized, hey, that's just what they call it. We call it Mickey D's. They call it Macca's. All right. Looks like we don't really have any changes in the scoreboard. I don't know who Matinee is, but we're moving on to the next question because we're running out of time. Mark tries, true or false? Mark tries a kangaroo burger in Australia. Is that true or false? Did I try a kangaroo burger?
Do you know that Australians eat so much beetroot, which Betsy loves, but they put it on everything. Like if you want an Australian burger, it's coming with beetroot. Yeah. You want just beets from the buffet, you're set.
Yeah. So 7 people knew that was true. 2 thought I didn't. This is 2025, Mark. I'm adventurous, and of course I'll eat kangaroo. The waiter said that it sometimes is pretty gamey. Mine actually wasn't. So let's see how we did there.
I tried to bite just so I could say that I tried it.
Yep. Looks like we didn't get any changes there. Bet's Dubby, she took a embarrassing picture of me caressing that kangaroo burger. So I know she would get that one right. Here's the next question. Why is Carnival Splendor a special ship for us? Was it our first cruise together? Did we take our honeymoon on the Splendor? Did we meet on the Splendor? Or did we get engaged on the Splendor? Why is this such a special ship for us? I hope you remember.
Yeah, it was where we met.
Yeah, it was where we met that time when I got down on one knee, could barely get up, and asked you to marry me, right? All right, so 4 of you knew that one. Let's see the scoreboard. Still no changes. I don't know who Matinee is. Let us know who in the chat who Matinee is there.
Maybe it's like Matt and Renee.
Oh, you know what? It
makes sense.
That makes sense. All right.
But next, it should be a picture of Batman.
Next question. This is the nickname for New Zealanders. Is it dingoes, Aussies, Kiwis, or Tassies? Which one of these is a nickname for people that live in New Zealand? That's a pretty picture right there. I took that one too off the internet. Yep.
Yeah.
That's sure did.
The tower, right? What was that tower called?
I don't remember what it was called. Yeah. All right. I had this grand plan to bring Mike and Betsy in to preview what they were doing on their show tonight, but we are going to go ahead and eat some of their time. So unfortunately, can't do that. Bet's Dubby's still in the lead. Question 7 of 20. What charity event do they have on Carnival ships in Australia? Is it Groove for St. Jude? Is it Kick It for the kiddos, Jive for the juniors, or Conga for kids? Which one do they do? It supports these fine institutions that you see on your screen there. What is it called? 3, 2, 1. All right, of course, that is Conga for kids. Hey, I chose some good ones. Do you like those other names that I chose there?
Yes, for sure.
I'd Kick It for the kiddos.
For the juniors.
Yep. All right. So Matinee is hanging on. Real Captain Billy J. He's a little behind. He's getting the answers right, but he has to Google them, so it takes a little time. Let's move on to the next one. True or false? The koala belongs to the bear family. True or false? I did take that picture. That is a picture that I took there. So yes. that was a cute guy. He was in the perfect stance. But man, so many koalas at one time. They are just all over.
They spend like 22 hours sleeping.
And the other 2 hours and the other 2 hours eating, right? So that sounds like I'm part of the koala family. So 6 of you knew that was false. 3 thought it was true. They do not belong to the bear family.
They are also marsupials.
They are marsupials. We got HOL moving in onto the scoreboard here, up onto the top 5 as we move on to question 9. This Carnival Corporation line is transferring 2 ships to Carnival to sail in Australia. Is it Costa? Is it P&O, Cunard, or Aida?
We actually saw one of these ships in port when we got our bonus day in Sydney.
Yes, we did. We saw the P&O Pacific Explorer. I went ahead and gave the answer because it's kind of on the screen anyway.
I was right, Matt and Renee.
There you go. See, you're smart. That's one of the many reasons why I love you.
Oh, thanks.
All right. Let's see. Ooh, okay. We got some more movement. Real Captain Billy J. Moon Pie is up in the top 5. Matinee's still there. 10 of 20. What was our favorite thing we saw while snorkeling the Great Barrier Reef?
You in the stinger suit?
Was it a lemon shark, a sea turtle, a box jellyfish, or a Sydney octopus? Which one of those things was our favorite thing we saw while snorkeling the Great Barrier Reef?
So real quick, this overview. This was the big pontoon.
Yeah.
After a 90-minute boat ride where I've never seen so many people seasick in my life, we went to that pontoon and docked there for a couple hours.
All right. 5 of you paid attention and saw that picture of that sea turtle a little bit ago. Good job on that. We're moving on to question 11. True or false? Mark and Steph tried Vegemite while in Australia. Did we try Vegemite while in Australia? True or false? It's 2025, Mark.
Yeah.
Answers are almost up here. So 3 of you said false, 6 said true. I did not try Vegemite in Australia.
This was a trick question.
I've had it before. I wasn't trying it again, but Stephanie did try Vegemite. So maybe that threw some people. No, Betsy and Mike knew that. 12 of 20. When did the Sydney Opera House open? It is old. 1958, 1965, 1973, or 1981. When did it open?
Deb, you are right. It is gross. When I took the first bite, I was like, oh, this isn't too bad. And then the aftertaste kicked in, and I was like, no, thank you. I just don't get it.
So the Sydney Opera House opened in 1973, the same year that I was born. No changes on the leaderboard. Question 13. Instead of Burger King, Australia has Burger Queen, the BK Lounge, Hungry Jack's, or Whoppers. What is Burger King called in Australia?
I wish they had burgers like that for real.
When they moved over there, they couldn't call it Burger King because there was already a corporation named Burger King, so they had to name it something else, and that is Hungry Jack's. It is literally Burger King, but it's called Hungry Jack's. All right, no changes on the leaderboard as we move to question 14. Carnival Luminosa previously sailed for which cruise line? Was it P&O? Was it Costa? Was it Princess? Or was it Cunard? The Luminosa, which we sailed on the Great Barrier Reef up until a few years ago, sailed for which cruise line? You know this, right?
Yeah.
All right. That is, of course, Costa.
Good job, Deb. You got that one right.
Oh, Real Captain Billy J moved up into the third spot. Betsy and Mike still in the lead. Man, they are close together, too. Wow. Question 15. How many total days of cruising did we have on our adventures down under? How many total days of cruising? Was it 20, 23, 25, or 28? Betsy and Mike are doing the math in their heads right now. I did mention during this live show how long each of those cruises was. So how many total days of cruising did we have? That, of course, was 23. I'm just curious right now to see if Mike and Betsy continue to get all these right. Oh, Mike got it wrong.
Oh,
Mike got it wrong. All right, let's move on to 16. How much does it cost to ride the Brisbane trains? It is very economical. Is it 50 cents? Is it $1, $2, or is it free? How much does it cost to ride the trains in Brisbane? This might be,
We only know the answer to this because my cousin was telling us about it.
But we all rode the trains too.
True,
so, I mean, but this is the throw. We didn't mention this one in the thing. We got answers all over the board. It is 50 cents. It is 50 cents. And Matinee moves up into third. Captain BJ Falls. Hall's still on there. We got question 17. This is the national symbol of New Zealand. Is it the silver fern? Is it the tuatara? Is it the sheep? Or is it pavlova? Well, I mean, listen.
We had a question about pavlova in a trivia.
There you go. I popped up in things that are famous in New Zealand. So as you can see there, if you look at the picture as it disappears there, you can guess that it is the silver fern.
Amazing in New Zealand. I've never seen ferns like that anywhere.
All right, look at that. Betsy and Mike. You know what? I think they stopped playing because they had to get ready for their show. 18 of 20. Carnival sail-away parties in Australia feature a line dance to this Tina Turner song. Is it Private Dancer? Is it Nutbush City Limits? Is it The Best or Proud Mary? They go crazy for this song too. The whole country.
Hello, Steve Morales.
What's up, Steve? We're looking forward to sailing with you on Mike and Betsy's group cruise this Halloween. That's going out of Galveston on the Jubilee. All right, so that was Nutbush City Limits. It's pretty crazy. It is a huge thing in Australia.
It was actually created by like phys ed teachers back in the day.
Yeah, and it looks like it. How many islands make up New Zealand's Bay of Islands? How many is it? Steph mentioned this earlier. Is it 75? Is it 122, 144, or 193? How many islands make up New Zealand's Bay of Islands? As soon as we get done with this game, we are going to close it out. I think we've covered all the bases for tonight. We want to thank you for showing up. That, of course, is 144. Ooh, Billy J and Matinee, they're running close. Hall's right there, too. Who's going to be the winner? It's not going to be Mike or Betsy. This Carnival ship does not have a guy's burger joint. What Carnival ship doesn't have a guy's burger joint? Is it the Splendor, the Luminosa, the Firenze, or the Venezia? Which one of these does not have a guy's burger joint? So if you're looking for group cruises, we've got ours February of 26. Mike and Betsy have their Halloween group cruise, which is always fun. This October on the Jubilee. And our next live show is going to be when, Steph?
Oh, I don't have
You
that
didn't write that down? March 27th. You wrote it right there.
Sorry.
Yep.
March 27th.
All right. So let's see.
Lovey's Fat Life will be back next Thursday. Once again, thank you.
Yes, thank you very much. Matinee is in third spot, which is going to be the victor today. So Matinee, if you can send us a message or drop your information here in the chat, we are going to get a prize out to you, okay? Thank you all for watching. We're sorry we went over. Go see the beaches live. That is happening right now. But remember, life is short.
And cruising is fun.
We'll see you next time.
You're still here? It's over. Go home. Go.